was standing there and he was saying he wouldn't give her the money. She just stood there with this grin on her face.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. This is the January 14th edition of the Fun Show. We're happy to all be here together. I'm Arch O'Reilly. Sitting next to me is Susan Harrington. And over there, searching for notes on the Keurig keyboard,
I don't find
is
them.
our director, mentor, leader, Michael Salad.
A little grandiose, I'd say, isn't it?
What do you say?
He was using his $2 word for the day. Grandiose.
Grandiose. Was that on your tear off the word of the day?
No, that's the Mexican accent.
Well, we were commenting on the fact that there were reportedly 3-hour lines at the airport, TSA lines in Atlanta, Georgia today. And I was speculating, what's it feel like to stand in a line for 3 hours to take an hour-and-a-half flight somewhere? You know, you might as well just drive.
They should have a choir master there in that
Would teach
particular.
you all to sing.
Yes, if everybody sings, they feel better, I think.
All right.
What do you say,
That's a
Susan?
good idea.
I've got the song for the occasion.
What is it?
Lock him up, send him to the hostel, lock him up.
How about to hell with the chief?
To hell with the chief.
To
I like
hell.
that. That's good. Did you just come up with that? Very good. Very good. Yeah, what a... Well, the Patriots played their best game of the season.
They did. They played the best game of the
Well, let's
season.
hope next
Yesterday.
week's is their best game.
Well, that would be nice.
Next to the best.
I mean, I do note that they tend to play better against better opposition.
Yeah, they do. They
And
do.
they have a unique advantage this time because everybody has said they're the underdog against Kansas City.
I think
And
they just wanted.
historically, calling the Patriots underdogs was like handing them 11 points to begin with.
Well,
You know?
Belichick is always saying, "Well, they're doing their best. They work hard. They're not,
he's always saying
they're
the
not
other-
great." What?
And every time they ask him about the opposition, even if it's Buffalo or the Jets, it's, you know,
They're always
they're good in all
great
three
players.
phases
They
of the
every
game.
Hard
They got
workers.
good
they
people,
do everything
you know.
right, and they,
Yeah, I mean,
not like my team.
he's
no.
always playing the
Arts and flowers, violin.
you know, the old bears.
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
Well, you know, they say this. You see the same people on the way down that you saw on the way up.
That's right. That's right.
So,
But if he ever starts down, he can just quit because he's on
Right,
top.
that's true.
You know?
he's got
Well,
how many rings?
He's
6?
still paying
I
alimony.
think so.
He's living with that
But
blonde lady. I think
the
she's nice.
the commentators all said, you know, they say it's the player, it's not the coach. No. The other thing they said is about the Kansas City.
Yeah.
They said you really want to be scared. Imagine if Belichick had the players of Kansas City. You know,
That's funny. I like that.
wasn't it Keeb Talib or whatever? He was actually playing. I guess he was playing for
Some other.
no. Oh, he's playing for the Rams.
Yeah, he plays a tuba in the
It was very funny.
defense
The
line.
Rams are supposed to have these two overpowering guys in their defensive line. One who just a few years ago was like an incredible monster. And they never mentioned his name in the entire game. It was, but you
Now
know,
they got Brown. They got that big guy that they picked up. You read about him?
you're talking
Tackle.
about the Patriots.
Yeah, he's about 6.
Well, the funny thing
6,
about
8,
the
or
Patriots
9.
is every time I watch him, there's some guy doing a really good job who I'd never heard of before. They just seem to be able to replace people like
Yeah,
this.
well, he's good.
And Gronk only made, I think, one catch in the thing. But so people would think he had a bad game, but the fact of the matter is, if you watch closely, he was destroying people with blocks.
Yeah.
You know, at the line, 20 yards down the line, he was just everywhere knocking people flat,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Well, yesterday was history for another reason, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, What? Which one?
Oh,
They're
the
going. They're going into the championship again.
For the what? Eighth
Yeah.
eighth consecutive year or
But this is
something?
the female referee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I guess her position was line judge. Was that what
Yeah.
it was? She didn't stand out.
No.
She made one spot of the ball that I would have taken exception to, but that's the only thing in the whole game. And
But I think this is the first.
it's the first time a woman was ever in a playoff game. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But-
she's been doing it for 4 years, but other games.
Right. She
But this is
never
the-
got into a
yeah.
playoff game
No,
before.
no.
So
They think that some people are saying they think she's going to make it to.
referee.
Well, she's going to make it to
The Super Bowl. Yeah. I think so. I think she might
That
make
would be
it.
something else.
That might get the Referees Association a little twisted. I mean, she'll
Right,
make
because
it
it's-
eventually,
Yeah.
but you know, the Super Bowl is not going to be your second playoff game ever. You know,
Oh.
the thing is, the officials it used to be the officials, but then they found putting crews together that hadn't worked together was not effective.
No.
So now it's crews
Oh,
that get selected for games, and
so hers might.
it's theoretically on merit.
Okay.
You know, the bigger the game, the higher ranked the crew is.
They don't get paid a lot for those games, do they? Or is it the baseball one?
Who's
that get
was
paid
that?
a
The
lot?
commissioner's idea?
Officiating baseball is not as much of a team effort.
No.
You know,
But Cora said differently. The guy, the new coach of the Red Sox.
yeah. He was talking about the officials.
No, he was talking about the fact that these guys play together. They really build on each other's.
Yeah, we were talking about umpires.
I know. I'm talking about the play. You said that. Oh yeah, okay. You were talking about umpires only.
I was saying umpires in baseball are less than a team thing. This is why these days all the officials on a football game are connected by radios to each other, so they can talk to each other. They still spend too much time all gathering together in a coffee clutch in the middle of things
to decide.
while the clock stops. But anyway, so the person number one was speaking to the farmers today. Yeah, we've decided there's something that we might offer as a premium here at the Fun Show. We'd like to get red baseball caps and have them embroidered with "Lock Him Up" on them.
Well,
Yeah.
well, at my auditions, we had a fellow who came with the blue cap and he said, "Let's make America less embarrassing again." I like that.
That's good. Yeah.
And Joel Hirsch wore that.
That's a place to start.
Yes.
It's a place to start. But the thing is, if my hat's going to say "Lock Him Up," it's got to be red so they know who we're talking about.
Well,
you know?
he's got some wonderful guys working around there. He's got that man Bolton, who's a genius on foreign policy.
Even Bolton is contradicting him
Yes.
and lying,
Yeah.
which means he fits in. But Bolton came out and said, "Oh no, don't worry, we're not going to cut and run in Syria. It'll be a staged withdrawal." Well, it
He
turns out
says
it's-
worse than that.
It turns out it's not a staged withdrawal.
He
They're
asked.
cutting
He
and running.
asked the what is it? The Pentagon. He said to be ready for attacks or something. I like that.
He was apparently trying to talk them into attacking Iran.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to have time since he now wants them to build a wall along the southern
No.
border.
Yes, they'll build
And,
it.
and you're going to have to wait in line at the TSA, so, we'd
Yeah.
be late for it.
Right.
You bring the-
late to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he not only wants to use the Army
Right.
to dictate a state of emergency, use the Army, and where's he going to get the money for it? He's going to take it out of disaster relief. In other words, too bad Puerto Rico, too bad Florida Panhandle, too bad California wildfires. We're spending that money to build my wall.
A lot of congressmen went to Puerto Rico this week.
And if they get away with this state of emergency allowing us to dispense with the Congress of the United States,
Yeah.
which is what he's proposing, it actually is the end of democracy.
But very likely. Yeah.
And because, I mean, think of the temptation from our side when we take over. Oh, you don't want to vote for universal health care? Fine. Health care is an emergency. It's a national emergency. It's clearly more of an emergency than this nonsense down on the border. You know, you don't want to do anything about 40,000 Americans being killed by gun violence in the United States last year. Clearly a humanitarian national emergency. So forget it, Congress. We're just putting in gun control.
Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, this is the clearest totalitarian move that this guy has yet suggested.
Well,
You know,
we have a woman who's the speaker. I think she's got the right attitude. He says let's see if we can get together on this, and she says no. That's all.
and
If he
throws
can
a-
walk out, she can say no. That's all.
he throws a temper tantrum and stalks out.
He said no. It wasn't a temper tantrum.
Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing that is going to really annoy him. Since almost anything can annoy him, I mean, even Sandy Ocasio can get under his skin. But his
Well, she gets
appointee for Attorney General Just-
Barr.
just promised Congress that in his tenure, no one will interfere
With
with
Mueller.
Mueller's investigation. You know,
That means they're going to really go out
Trump
after him.
isn't going to like that. You
Now,
say,
is
why in the world do you think I appointed you?
Is Cohen going to testify before or after he's sent to prison?
Before.
Apparently very soon.
Yeah, before.
Apparently
That
very
ought to be
soon.
fun.
Because the inmates would give him some good ideas, you know.
And they say that that has the potential to prove fatal
What? For him or for idiot?
for idiot. Yeah. For the
Well, I don't know. I
the
mean,
orange
he seems
idiot.
to be Teflon.
What's
because-
this with a member of our Supreme Court? She was sick.
Ruthie?
Yeah. and
Ruth,
then-
she had cancer for the
Yeah.
third time. Operation seems to have gone well.
I know.
I
I'm praying
didn't
for
say,
Ruth.
no, she didn't look that. She didn't talk that well, though. She only,
Well, she's actually missed some arguments
Yeah.
for the first
she
time.
says she's
in her
reading
career.
them at home. She's reading them all.
And that swinging door senator, who's that guy who's against Trump and then for Trump and against Trump, then
The
down
guy
on
from
his
South
knees kissing-
Carolina, the senator.
Yeah, who ran Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lindsey Graham,
Speaks with
the
forked
most-
tongue.
who's possibly a more psychotic individual than Trump,
And he says terrible things about
and he's now
President
all
Trump.
foaming at the mouth about how, you know, what they're going to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg with, you
Yeah.
know, secure the future of the conservative Supreme Court.
Well, they still have McConnell. He'll carry the ball. He'll make sure. The man from Kentucky. Yeah,
Oh, that
that's the one. Yeah, he
Well,
wants
you know,
to put
the funny
another
thing is
very
it's-
conservative.
it's too bad that they got a couple of extra seats, because now there are 3 Republicans senators on the record telling Mitch that they want to vote on the House reopening the government bill. And last year that would have been enough.
It would have been, yeah.
But basically, they've just shut down the Senate. Well, we always knew they didn't believe in government, but now we're seeing a demonstration of it. I think this guy, actually, in his own perverted mind, believes it when he says, "Oh, I can have it shut down for months,
Yeah.
years, maybe."
Yeah.
Well, he believes all that other garbage that he says. So why wouldn't he believe that?
Yeah.
Well, he's always talking about the crisis down there in the southern border.
Of course, the thing is, he's going
a
to find
national
out.
emergency or something.
He's going to find out at some point that the House doesn't have to give him a nickel
Right.
for anything.
Well, he's finding it
I
out
mean,
from
that's where the power is. Oh, yeah, he'll steal money that's already been appropriated around,
Well, he does it in his own businesses. He steals money. He has things done, and then he doesn't pay the vendors.
That is his business, right?
So
Money.
that is
The
his
money
business.
business is his business.
So, speaking of which, his daughter and his son-in-law apparently went to see Vice and walked out less than halfway through the movie, you know.
That's what Cheney, yeah.
That's one movie I want to see.
Okay.
And I want to see if they treat Lynn as badly as she ought to be treated. Because his wife was actually worse than he was.
really,
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening. And I
don't have a name.
I have a feeling that this classic here, does it have a title?
No, it doesn't have a title.
It's titleless, and it goes back.
well, it says joy.
I've been. Oh, what is it
At the
say?
top here, it says joy.
Joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Very good.
I've always wanted to have an opportunity to say this, but this classic goes back to the turn of the century.
Thank you.
Yes, the turn of the century. Action.
Okay, action.
This isn't the book. Are there others? It doesn't matter.
Are you through with that book?
I don't know.
Does he know?
Perhaps.
I was sent for the MCAST book.
Good.
Can I look at it?
It's not mine.
I know.
I think I'll leave.
Fine.
You're very civil.
You're very civil. Well, what about him?
Unusual.
Weather.
Yeah. Sunny,
Sunny warms.
windy, and clouds. Yeah.
Whether I can or.
I see.
Absurd.
You don't understand.
Well, I'm used to hearing that.
Speak plainly.
Please.
I guess there's always an option.
Gibberish.
But honest,
I'm in a hurry.
But I've been here for hours.
he looks rested to me.
He's been sleeping.
I used to be able to do that.
Go away.
Where is it?
Where is it? He needs improvement, I think, and finally,
I am not discouraged.
You'll take it again.
isn't he old for that test?
Hey, look, worrying caused this premature aging.
My nephew could care less.
I used to be happy-go-lucky.
Well, you don't look depressed to me.
He's medicated.
I always studied.
I bet he worked every night.
Kids all want a car.
I don't drive.
That's what the car thieves all say.
Where are you taking this?
Sure. I do have a leather jacket. I do have Nikes.
See, material gratification first.
You've consigned him to failure.
What happened to expectations?
I know. Yeah, it's really hopeless.
I know it's not in that book.
Tutoring?
A blue-collar job?
Perhaps. But you know I'm a challenger.
Good.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I bet it's more window dressing from him.
What about a charter school?
Hey, you know, transferring to a private school might help.
Yeah, Betsy'd like that. Face it, you haven't got it. That's the answer.
Yes, you have to apply.
Learning isn't always fun and games.
I wish you wouldn't disparage my efforts.
You can do whatever you want to do.
A nice sounding liberal sentiment.
Isn't education about hope, too?
Another feel-good nostrum.
You're enjoying this.
Even our president is sanguine about it.
Don't be so heartless.
But I'm truly compassionate, my dear.
He knows all the answers aren't in one book.
I had this dream.
Probably while taking the test.
Crowds of young people were in the streets. They were all walking out of the city and into the forest. They were leaving behind their families. Nobody spoke. There was just the sound of movement.
I want to hear more.
Overhead, the sky was dark gray, as if a storm were coming. We all kept going, and then some fell out and were sitting on the side of the road. No one stopped to help. The throng went on. There was no plan, and more would appear from nowhere to fill the ranks of those who dropped out. Then we began to see dead bodies.
Stop! I've heard enough.
No, there may be some objective to it.
It didn't seem to matter to anyone. Then there were birds overhead, cawing and crowing. Some were even attacking the faltering. But they were alone, defenseless, though surrounded by other adolescents.
How horrible. Human beings?
Well, those that failed anyways.
It grew darker and darker, and there was thunder. But we marched on, undeterred. No time for food, for water, for rest.
Graffiti.
Can this be any worse than the end?
It began raining, pelting, soaking all of us. There was no shelter, and it was cold.
My kingdom for a voucher.
Don't you care?
It's his dream.
I wanted to leave them. I wanted to sit by myself and just think. There was the sound of sobbing, but the rain didn't stop, and the parade went on endlessly.
I guess that's how it feels to be hopeless.
But that doesn't seem like the world we live in.
When the crap hits the fan.
Suddenly, unbelievably, I could see a high wall, and bodies were piling up in front of the wall. But people kept climbing and falling.
What about protesting?
Things just happen in his hallucinations.
I stopped. I stepped aside. Others pushed on like sleepwalkers. They ignored me totally.
Somnambulist in his sleep?
Are you some kind of analyst?
And the bodies were stacking higher and higher, and finally higher than the wall. And I started again. I could get over it now. Then I saw that the wall was growing higher, even as I was clambering up.
Well, he's fantasizing ideology now.
Just because you have money?
Look, all right, I'll give up the fast food night job.
Maybe an after-school program can help him.
Programmers will compete for his slot.
Nonsense.
My church is teaching basic skills to teenagers.
Ah, yes, the faith-based approach.
Well, the economy is slowing down.
And so are his evening reveries.
I know what I have to do.
But the long-range planning is absent.
You with your white-collar philosophy.
The free market rules, and I'm proud of it.
I will get that high school diploma.
Why?
You're so negative.
I just have to buckle down, that's all.
Yeah, like writing 1,000-word term paper, huh?
So he's not a preppy at a fancy private school.
Well, there's sure plenty. Oh, no, the poor kid has that fatal disease.
No, I'll start reading real books.
He doesn't look sick.
ADD, yep, attention deficit disorder.
Look, no more sleeping in my classes.
If he wants to reform, he can.
But all the stocks are dropping.
I'll even bring homework and textbooks home with me.
And if he can keep his libido in check.
So now it's sexual preference?
Ah, LaShandra. Boy, is she built.
Well, no uniforms, plenty of distraction during geometry.
I'd like to square her hypotenuse.
Laugh, but it's a beginning.
And how about her quadratics?
Well, he's got possibilities.
Maybe his teachers are accountable too.
Let's give them the MCAS test.
Listen, I'm damn tired of people telling me I'm lazy and stupid.
Well, he's got that right.
Sure, there's plenty that's wrong. We could spread the blame around, but what good would that do? He wants to pass that test and graduate. He wants to go to college. He wants to better himself. He wants to.
Yeah, but swell, but a poor broken home, a lousy neighborhood, lots of school tardiness, bad attendance, and little achievement. Don't cut it, my dear. And if it's about character, he's been making excuses for years. Face it, sister, he'd even have a hard time getting a decent position in Mexico.
Hey, I'm bilingual.
You're telling me that our society is a meritocracy?
Yeah, but he's marginal and he knows it.
Unless his father owns a business, right?
Hey, they thought I was dyslexic in the early grades.
Can't even spell dyslexic. He never paid attention.
So, what's your solution, genius?
The new highschool.com, and it's coming online soon.
He might not have a computer.
You'll get one for this project, believe me.
Hey, Jose has a computer, and he swears he can get me one too.
I'm not asking. Don't want to know.
There's always a crisis, but we don't purge anybody.
You know, my principal's retiring this year.
Good things do happen.
So negative.
And my guidance counselor had a heart attack.
More great news.
But it's all chance.
I don't think of myself as poor and disadvantaged.
His father and Jose's brother are behind bars.
You're undermining your own cynicism.
Well, you know, pimps make a lot of money.
It's bad, but we can't give up.
Finally.
Car parts.
Car parts and pushing dope, they're growth businesses.
I never said never, sweetheart.
Thanks. It took long enough.
But darn it, I want my folks to be proud of me and my friends to respect me.
Lots of immigrants and lots of poverty.
This is a new tune you're singing.
The pot boils, so it takes a while.
You sound downright optimistic.
But I'm so tired.
But you can't give up. I'm going to pass that test.
Yeah, blackout.
Blackout. Oh, it's funny, that fast food job,
Yeah.
our beloved leader is inviting the Clemson National Championship football
You
team.
gonna give the menu?
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they've agreed to show up, you know, but he's invited them to the White House. Well, the White House chefs have been furloughed. You know what
So-
he's serving them?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Hot dog.
Hot dogs, hamburgers.
Oh, sorry, hamburgers.
Literally McDonald's.
I
Chicken.
can believe it.
Yeah.
Fried-
McDonald's, Wendy's, and pizzas,
That's it.
you know, in the White House. Boy, they'll be able to remember that visit forever, right?
It's a class act.
Now, another thing that he's doing to make America great again is this orange bozo reportedly drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day,
Oh my God.
He does.
and it is destroying Diet Coke's reputation. Because on top of drinking them all the time and
Yeah.
being an out-of-shape fat
I was going to
slob,
say they're loaded with sodium.
he's constantly complaining that, well, I wish they worked. I've never seen a skinny person drinking Diet Coke, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So he's running down their effectiveness as a diet drink, which in fact, Coke knows, and Coke wanted to reformulate it so it actually fit
Yeah.
in better with the thing. But the hardcore fans like him wouldn't put up with their doing it. So he's running down Coca-Cola as well as everything else.
You want to say something about next week?
Oh, next week we won't be here because of MLK Day, right?
MLK, Martin Luther King's birthday
Celebration.
celebration. Is it? I guess it's a Monday holiday.
Yes,
right?
it's Monday holiday.
Okay.